And now to our other top story this morning. We're learning new details about the arrest of former CNN anchor Don Lemon here in L.A. His arrest is connected with a protest at a church in Minnesota. Now, we first told you about this story as breaking news during Today in L.A. In about 90 minutes, Lemon will appear in court. NBC4's John Cadiz Climac joins us live from outside the Roybal Federal Building in downtown L.A. John, talk to us about what's expected to happen today.
Well, not exactly 100% sure, but he is expected to make his first appearance 1:30 here at the Roybal Federal Building in downtown Los Angeles. Now, this ex-CNN anchor, if you recall, he used to be at CNN. He is now an independent journalist, arrested this morning in Los Angeles, in Beverly Hills, actually, while in town covering the lead up to the Grammy Awards this weekend. U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi says that he and 3 others, including another journalist, were arrested in connection with what she called a coordinated attack on City's Church in St. Paul, Minnesota. Lemon had been in Minnesota covering the immigration enforcement independently and protest there as well. Ended up inside the church with a crowd that had made its way inside. He interviewed the pastor, who was in the middle of a service at the time. Lemon's attorney told NBC News this arrest was an attack on the First Amendment. LA Mayor Karen Bass refers to Lemon as a friend, and she said this in a statement to NBC4. The arrest of journalists for grouping into a church in the course of reporting is shocking enough, but what's even more alarming, she says, is that no secret that Don Lemon is a Trump critic. She calls it an egregious assault on constitutionally protected First Amendment rights. Governor Newsom took to social media as well, saying they raided a reporter's home earlier this month. Today they arrested journalists. They're coming for you. Speak out. Now, Lemon has some very serious, very specific charges against him, charged with conspiracy to deprive rights, interfering by force of someone's First Amendment rights. Again, expected to make his first appearance at 1:30 here at the Roybal Federal Building. Reporting in downtown Los Angeles, I'm John Cadiz Climac. Annabelle, I'll send it back to you.
All right, and we will stay tuned for that. John, thank you so much for that. Joining us now to provide more context is legal analyst Royal Oakes. Royal, thank you so much for joining us.
You bet.
So, Royal, at this point, what do we actually know about the charges and what's still speculation?
Well, we don't know the exact nature of the charges, but we do know that it's very likely that what's happening here is that the government says, look, about 30 years ago, a law was passed that says if you're in a church and a service is going on, you have a right to it not being disrupted. If people come in to try to demonstrate and to exercise their First Amendment rights and interfere with it, they're breaking the federal law. So the allegation is that a bunch of anti-ICE folks went into an ongoing church service. Don Lemon was there. Was he part of the disruption and the protest, or was he acting as a journalist, simply taking pictures, interviewing people? We don't know the exact facts. We do know that the government went to 2 separate judges trying to get an arrest warrant issued, and they both said, no, you don't have enough against Don Lemon. But then they finally did either get a 3rd judge or a grand jury to say, yep, you may go round this guy up. That's the background.
Okay, so Royal, as you know, we do get tipped off when there is going to be a protest. If someone is at a protest as a journalist, where's the legal line between reporting and participating? What evidence will prosecutors need to prove that he was participating?
Great question, and it can be so murky. I mean, let's assume that Don Lemon was very sympathetic to the protesters. Let's assume he was there and expressed his opinion that they're doing the right thing. Did he actually interfere? We don't know. Now, since we live in a surveillance society, and plus, if anything interesting happens, whether it's 35,000 feet in a jet or in church, people whip out their phones. We're probably going to get a lot of video and testimonial evidence about exactly what happened, and that's what they have to drill down on. Is he a victim of persecution, prosecution for being identified somehow with the protesters, or was he just doing his job as an independent journalist?
All right, Royal, so what happens next?
The next step is to find out through your reporters what's happening in court, what are the specific allegations that the government has, and maybe the government will share with us the reasons why they felt he not only was there as a journalist, but also he was disrupting things. By the way, the same statute protects people who want to go into abortion clinics from people who are against abortion interfering with that. This law at the federal level has been enforced in lots of different contexts, and that's probably what the federal government is relying on right now.
All right, Royal Oakes, as always, thank you so much for your expertise.
Sure.
All right, and this is a breaking news story. We will have more on Lemon's court appearance later today on the NBC4 News.